Nonprofit Solutions Matter daily radio show, where we tackle the tough issues that keep founders up at night and answer your questions on everything from fundraising and board recruitment to marketing and resource development. If you're looking to start a nonprofit, raise money, organize your board, reactivate your organization, or chat about your mission, text the number on the screen to book a free call. We're happy to provide clarity and connect you with the resources and tools to help you move forward. Now, let's jump into today's program. Stay tuned as our Vice President dissects today's topic. Feel free to ask questions by dropping your comment below. Let's get started.
Welcome. So, today we're going to be talking about beyond the checkbook, how boards can actively support beyond fundraising. If you've been following our daily radio shows, you basically know how heavy I've been on board and fundraising, having board members support the organization as regards fundraising. And today we want to really go a step beyond that. We want to look at what other responsibilities do board members or are board members supposed to take up to support the organization to achieve its mission, to achieve the vision that has been set for the organization. So today I have Sharon with me. You know, when you have Sharon, it's the real deal. So she's going to be running us through what some of these responsibilities are, and what you can begin to do to get your board members to fall in line so that they can begin to support you. So, Sharon, I'm so happy to have you here today. And just tell me, what do you think about board members supporting as regards fundraising? And then what do you think about board members going beyond fundraising and really supporting the organization to achieve its mission?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me again today. It is a pleasure always to connect with you. You're doing amazing work, getting the visibility out there, helping people with these topics, and really meeting the needs of our audience, those founders, those organizations that are startups. So I applaud you, sir, for everything that you're doing. And you know me, I'm an educator. So before I jump into the question directly, I want to level set and speak first about boards that we believe are high functioning boards, because having these key elements that I'm going to just, rattle off really quickly is going to set the stage for beyond the checkbook fundraising. So let me dive in. So I think if you have a fully engaged board, first of all, and that means members who participate in board meetings regularly, members who provide leadership on the board in governance, as well as in connecting with a team, board members who actively advocate for your organization, board members who are able to share your mission and vision in the community is really key. And then those who attend different events and talk about you all. So when you have those key elements in place, then I think you can begin to talk about how boards can engage in fundraising, sort of beyond their personal giving or beyond the checkbook. So with that, I then believe that one of the things that we provide, I'm always going to put a little ad in here. We provide what we call a board comfort survey. And what that is, it is a 20-question survey that individual board members just take themselves, and we get a sense of how comfortable they are in knowing the mission vision of the organization, being able to have their elevator speech to talk about the organization, and to be able to do one thing that's so important, and that's opening up their circle of influence.
Wow. 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 Wow.
I know you didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I always want to preface it before I dive right in to the
Mhm.
conversation. All right, so
Mhm.
say we have the comfort survey. We met with the founder and the board, and we know sort of where they are. Okay, next step is engaging them to really begin to think about how they are going to serve in fundraising beyond their personal giving or beyond their checkbook or even beyond just fundraising. First thing they're going to do is they're going to be ambassadors for the organization. They will be the key voice outside the CEO that's going to be making sure that they are getting the message out. Let me just do one thing. I think my computer is about to die. Okay. So after that, they're going to be connect people, going to bring in their way that they're going to do that is they're going to invite, they are going to engage, they are going to inform, and then they're going to potentially set the stage for the ask. So let's just go through those elements. So invite. So we're going to do a little role play. So say I am a board member of your organization, not your organization, of our listeners' organization. You are a personal friend of mine. So I am going to share with you why I am in love with XYZ organization, why I sit on the board, and I would love for you to come to our gala, golf outing, um, online event, whatever it is, because I'd love for you to get to know more about the organization that I'm serving. That's the invite. Then the second piece is then I'm engaging you. Once you are showing up at that event or showing up at that particular gathering, I'm going to introduce you around to our team, to our staff, to the founder. They're going to be able to share with you more about the programs, more about their vision, more about what they do and why they do it. Then we're going to make sure that you are informed, that you absolutely have whatever takeaway we want to give you to be able, you as a potential donor, to ask. So I'm serving as a board member. So I'm talking about myself. These are activities that I'm going to be involved in, right? And then secondly, I'm going to make sure that someone on the team, if I don't feel comfortable doing it as a board member, but there's someone on the team that's going to be making the ask, because that individual that I brought into from my network into the family here, to the board, to the organization, I think that those are going to be the key elements that's going to help really energize individuals to get beyond just showing up at a board meeting, doing board due diligence, and also some other kinds of activities. The other things that we want to get board members involved in that really sets up the ask is having them thank donors, having them make either write thank you notes, make a phone call to people that are already existing in the database. Because if a staff person calls, that donor is going to think, well, they have to call because they're getting paid to do it. But if a board member calls or write a handwritten note, it goes a long way, because that donor is going to be like, that's a volunteer. And they took the time to handwrite a personal note to thank me for my gift to the organization. So there are so many activities that I believe we can help cultivate board members to begin to have them have a deeper engagement with the organization. And these are just a few that come top of mind.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow. You've really said a lot, because having board members really participate at this level is really taking ownership,
Yeah.
because board members are really trustees of the organization. They are the people who have been handed the responsibility to, ensure the success of this organization. So you playing the role, you sending the written thank you note, you showing up for meetings, all these other aspects of support that the board members can provide go a long way to even, bring in money. Some of these activities may not be money related, but they may end up, for example, talking to a friend, informing a friend
Mhm.
about the organization may not seem like a fundraising activity, but the friend could just be, what are you guys working on? What has to be done? And then they donate. So it's
Exactly.
really about supporting, and like we'd always say, it's the little things that make the difference, right?
Mhm.
And then there's another aspect I've also seen that board members can really do a lot of good. The place where they come together to really plan, whether it's planning the future of the organization, planning your programs, planning an event, coming together to plan, to brainstorm, share ideas is a very important way for a board member to be able to support the organization. Because if you don't share your ideas, you don't criticize the programs, you don't recommend new programs, who will? So really, these are ways board members can really support, and I'm so happy you talked about all of these, Sharon. So, and one thing I think is really the challenge for most founders and board chairs, board
Mhm.
presidents, is
Mhm.
how do they really get these board members to take on these roles to support in this way? Because one, knowing that they have to support is one thing, and then actually trying to support, really taking up that role is another thing. So how do you think founders, board chairs, board presidents can get their board members to begin supporting in these areas you've mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, they should hire us because we can then walk them through how to do this. So,
Yeah.
but aside from that, I mean, we have a checklist, and that checklist will really help them really be able to identify the action steps that board chair taking us off of the founder's plate. The founder doesn't need one more thing to do. The board needs to have peer to peer conversations, peer to peer accountability, and that board chair drives this message home. And it really creates a culture of philanthropy. And we really talked about that in one of our webinars that we did earlier this month. Basically, this checklist, which we can make available to anyone who requests it, really walks you through at key activities that board members can take, so they have this roadmap and they're not guessing, they're not trying to figure it out. It's we create an entire resource development plan. So each board member, let me give you an example. So let's just take an organization I'm currently working with. I would say a mid-sized organization. They have about 1,000 individual donors in their database. They also get grants, both public, federal grants. They have some foundation grants, and they do a few events. When I met with them, one of the things that I noticed, well, I noticed two things right off the bat. One was they do two major events a year that bring in over 500 individuals to each event. And what I discovered was that they had no mechanism in place to follow up with people who actually physically came to the gala and came to the golf event. Those were the two events. So those are missed opportunities that board can be engaged with. Thank you for coming out to our event. I would love to sit down with coffee with you to share a little bit more about what we're doing. And hey, find out why you even came and like what were you learning? That's a discovery meeting. And then these are kind of activities that we put in this checklist for them. The second thing was they had these events, so they had now these people in their database. And it's been so interesting because now not only was there not real follow up, there may have been a follow up thank you because a person purchased an auction item or whatever, but they never figured out how to then bring those individuals that attended into the family by having them come do a tour, meeting one on one with the founder, whatever it was, that's the activity. So we give the board members a checklist of things that they can do to get to know the donors. The other thing is, have this checklist can provide. They have 1,000 people in this database where they have individuals that they know anniversaries, they know their birth date, they know information about them. Give each board member their own little portfolio of donors that they will steward throughout the year. So
Wow.
from January to December, they have these 5 people or these 10 people that they're going to make sure that they are doing one touch a month, whether that's sending out a card, thank you note, happy birthday, happy anniversary, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever. But those would then be their cultivating, because then stories will start to come back in the board meetings. They'll get energized in board meetings because they'll start talking about their personal portfolios and how Jane Smith gave $50 at the gala, but now I've been working with her and connecting with her over the year. And by year end, she's giving us a planned gift and leaving us in her will. So I've seen this happen. And it's just been amazing. But again, it all speaks to building those relationships, getting away from fundraising, which is transactional. Think more about friend raising, and you're developing these relationships so you want individuals to begin to be passionate about the organization as you are.
Wow. 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 Sharon, you said so much because just thinking about it alone, the idea of giving board members, a donor list to steward throughout the year,
Yeah.
that's like real top strategy. Because I've seen this done in churches. You know, churches, they have the strategy of growing their
Yeah.
numbers, bringing in new church members. And then some of the people these churches go after are people who are already members of other churches. So they
Mm,
have to have this follow-up system where, they have members following up others to be
yeah.
able to bring them in. And I never thought of that. And I think that's so wonderful, really. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing this value today. Uh, if anyone has really taken their time to listen, they would have gotten so much value that they can take back to the organization to, start engaging their board members and then further engaging their donors and their donor lists. Thank you so much, Sharon, for coming on here today to help us on this topic. Um,
Absolutely. And we have a webinar on Friday that's going
mhm,
to give a little bit more, dive a little bit more deeply into this topic. And then we'll
mhm,
have some of these resources that I mentioned as downloadable PDFs that individuals who attend can have access
mhm.
to. So I'm looking forward to that workshop or webinar in 2 days.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you've heard Sharon. Join us on Friday. You don't want to miss out. We're going to be talking on how to transform your board members to fundraising champions, from disengaged to devoted. So you don't want to miss that. Join us. We really want to see your organization doing well.
Mm,
At the heart of that is your board, getting your board right, getting your board to be able to support you. And that's really why we're very passionate about this. So we look forward to seeing you on Friday. Of course, we're going to be coming here again tomorrow and every day to share more value with you. And I promise you, I'm going to try as much as possible to get Sharon here again. We can't sleep on this value. All right.
I'll do my best.
Okay. All right then. So goodbye. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nonprofit Solutions Matter Daily radio show. We hope today's insights have been valuable in helping you tackle the challenges and opportunities within the nonprofit sector. We're here to support you in starting, raising funds for, and growing your nonprofit. If you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us an email to book a free discovery call, or simply comment below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We look forward to hearing from you and helping your organization